Hello, and welcome back to another video. This is Pranav here with Kickoff Conversations, along with my co-host Simran. Today, we are going to be talking about the big, if not one of the biggest clashes that are happening in the Champions League. We have two guests with us representing their clubs in the form of Manchester United and Bayern Munich. Today, we'll be talking about how these big clubs are going to go head to head, and let's hope to see that if Manchester United can, step up to the occasion in the Champions League, given the run of form, and if Bayern Munich do have what it takes to take on a club like Manchester United and take advantage of the poor form that they're in. So with us we have Priyanshu representing Bayern Munich, and we have Prashanth representing Manchester United. So Simran, take it off.
Yeah, so let's start with United. Prashanth, do you think Manchester United ended in one of the most difficult groups? And
Mm.
given their recent form, like, are you optimistic that they will do good enough for you to qualify for the next round?
I think United are in a very tricky group. I wouldn't say easy. I wouldn't say it's difficult. If you look at the teams who we are facing, right, we have Bayern Munich, Galatasaray, Copenhagen, and then United. So out of the four
Yeah.
teams, I would like to think United will qualify second, if not the first, for obvious reasons, because Galatasaray is a very difficult place to go and play. United have typically had a good record in Turkey. United do very well against Turkish sides. And also, it's a very special occasion for Rasmus Højlund, who's going to play his brothers at Copenhagen, which is his former club as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
so where both his brothers play for the club. So it's a very interesting group. I'm not even worried about the Bayern Munich game as such because at Allianz Arena, a lot of things change. It's one of those grounds where spectators kind of turn on the players very quickly. If you're playing bad at Allianz Arena, the spectators will make it loud. So Thomas Tuchel is under same pressure as Eric Ten Hag. The only difference is Bayern have had a decent set of results. United haven't had it, right? But come this season or come this fixture, everyone knows there's one eye on Thomas Tuchel because he's been hired for a specific reason, which is to win the bloody Champions League, right? So the pressure is
Yes.
equal, but I think United will go through to the next round.
Okay.
So that's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to ask Priyanshu, what do you think? I mean, with the addition of Harry Kane in your squad, do you think that they have what it takes to be one of those top contenders, in the group stage, not if not the group stage, the Champions League this time out?
Yes, definitely. Look, we bought in Harry Kane not to win the Bundesliga, but of course to win the Champions League. And with Harry Kane, last season we had Choupo-Moting in that position. And let's be honest, with Choupo-Moting, you can't win the Champions League. So Harry Kane will, of course, give us a boost. And he, he missed playing the Champions League for a long time now. And he will be motivated. The team will be motivated, and I think after Manchester City, we are the favorites.
So after Manchester City, you're saying Bayern Munich are the second favorites to win the league.
Well, I
As
guess
of now.
Yeah, I
confidence
mean, if you
as
think
of
about
right
it, right,
now.
everyone is a favorite until unless Real Madrid comes in knockout stages.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's that's very true. That's very true to say.
Okay, so Priyanshu is pretty confident about that. So let's go. What do you think are the tactical approaches that we can expect from Manchester United and Bayern Munich? You can go first, Prashant.
I think United are only traveling with 21 people. I don't know if you saw the
Yeah.
traveling squad. So you can travel with 25 people. United are only traveling with 21, out of which four are goalkeepers. Okay, that's how bad our injury situation is. So in terms of tactical switches which United would do, right, Eric Ten Hag has got a very limited set of players who he can rely on. We have like six youth players who are actually traveling with the squad, which is Dan Gore, Hannibal Mejbri, who scored against Brighton, all those nature. So I'll give you a very small update about the squad. There is no Harry Maguire. Okay, there is no right back in the
Yeah.
squad. Like
What happened to
there
Aaron
is
Van Bissaka?
Aaron Wan-Bissaka is out injured for 2 months, hamstring injury.
Oh.
So United don't have a right back substitute. So for example, Diego Dallo will play as right back and Sergio Reguilon will play as a left back. And we have only one centre back as option, which is Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans playing in 2023 as a substitute also scares me. Harry Maguire got injured. Okay, in terms of tactical approaches, what United will have, right? United will set up with a 4-2-3-1. There is no change in it. The thing with Eric Ten Hag, which is slightly pissing me off right now, is he's adamant. He will not change. No matter what happens, he will stick to his 4-2-3-1. Just that he will tweak here and there. Like, for example, against Brighton for first 20 minutes, the 4-2-3-1 suddenly became a diamond in midfield where McTominay and Casemiro were at the pivot, and then Eriksen was a number 10, Bruno on the right wing, which was worked till 20 minutes, and then suddenly Brighton caught United off guard. So it'll be a typical
Right.
United setup of 4-2-3-1. The only difference is it depends on whether Thomas Tuchel can spot this or not. De Zerbi is a smart coach; he spotted it. Arteta is a smart coach who did not spot it, but eventually United lost the game. But Thomas Tuchel is not even there in touchline tomorrow. So if
Oh,
he's serving a one-match suspension, right, after that 1-1 draw versus Man
yes,
City, he
Yeah,
got
yes, yes,
carded,
yes, yes.
right? So he's not
he
there in the
got it.
touchline. Yeah. So it depends on whether whoever is at the assistant manager, right, if he can spot what Ten Hag is doing. If no one spots it, United will walk with a draw or a victory, however it happens, right? But it'll be a 4-2-3-1. There will be no changes in United's approach or how we play because we can't. We don't.
And I wanted to ask. I mean, I like how you said Thomas Tuchel may or may not notice, that
Mm,
glitch that
mm,
United have, right? I mean, it's not like Thomas Tuchel wouldn't has not seen the United versus Brighton game,
mm,
right? It's not like he's not done his research. I mean,
mm.
knowing the guy, I mean, being a Chelsea fan, he does
Mm.
his thorough
Yeah,
research.
Yeah,
He
but you also
knows
know,
how to
being a
go up
Chelsea
against a
fan, that
team.
Thomas Tuchel runs with his own ideas. He does not care what the
He
world
is
thinks. He will do what he
exactly,
wants to
exactly,
do. So that is the
and it's the same
adamancy
with
which you,
Eric.
yeah, and
It's the
that's the
same with Eric
adamancy
Ten
which
Hag as
works
well.
for both of them, in that way.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly, but you can never tell, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if he sees, he probably knows that Manchester United are a very injury hit team. They're
Mm.
facing a lot of key players out of the squad.
He said
I
something
mean, he'll try
interesting
to.
in press conference today. I was watching his press conference and he said something interesting. He said Manchester United, irrespective of what their form or their injuries is, they are so good in transition that if you switch
Yeah,
off, they will hit you. Right? So he clearly
absolutely,
knows what United
absolutely,
are going to bring on the table. It only depends on whether his tactics work on paper or not. Look, we can plan everything on paper, but if one individual decides to turn up on that day, right? Like, I always say this to a lot
true.
of people, no one in their wildest dreams would ever put money on Kai Havertz to win a Champions League for Chelsea. No sane man would put,
absolutely. No one did. Absolutely, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like he said, Chupamoting
He
can't
did. He
guarantee you a
did.
Champions League title, but you never know in Champions League.
I mean,
It's
he
just one
he
of those
did
competition.
step up sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And what about you, Priyanshu? What do you think Bayern will bring to this game? Any tactical approach that you think that will change?
The Bayern will start with 4-2-3-1 formation. Now the question is who will start in the center back position. As of now, Tuchel is playing Kim and Upamecano because Delit is not fully fit as of now. But in the last two
Okay.
games against Gladbach and against Leverkusen, he brought on Delit in the number 6 position to play in the midfield in the last 10 minutes. Okay. And another thing is who will start at left wing because Coman started team training yesterday only, and then Ganapri is not looking so good as of now. I mean, his form is not that good. So Musiala can start at left wing, and I think that will be the best decision. Musiala, Muller at cam, and at right wing Sane.
Mm.
And another thing is who will start at right back because against Gladbach after halftime Tuchel brought on Leimer at right back. Even though he's not a right back, I mean not a complete right back, he's a midfielder, but he can play there. And against Leverkusen also he started Leimer at right back. So that will be interesting to see who will start at the right back position. I think Mazraoui should start because he can. I think defensively he can tackle Rashford. I think, but let's see.
Okay. I just
Okay.
wanted to ask: is there an injury to Alfonso Davies or Joshua Kimmich?
No, no, no. They all are fit. Only Neuer and Guerrero is out.
Okay, so either of those players can take up that right back position, right?
Yes, but I think Kimmich should start in the midfield only.
So any notable injuries or suspensions both teams are facing, that might have an impact? I mean, apart from Harry
United don't have a
Maguire.
suspension because there was no
I
Champions League
mean,
last year.
Champions League exactly. But what about Bayern Munich?
But you guys do have a
I mean,
suspension, no? One player has been suspended, or break, taking a break from
Which is
football
I
only.
mean,
Anthony,
not one, two players actually,
two
two
players.
players,
One player has
two
gone
players.
off, to play in La Liga.
Yeah, which
No,
he
no,
got booed, and
this
the
is
and the
this is
manager
this is the other
apologized.
two. This is the other two players that we're talking about. Both on one
Sancho
is
is
a
off.
left
Okay,
footer, one is a right.
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Too much drama in United.
yeah. You can actually ask Ekta Kapoor to make a serial on Man United, and that'll do well. Every week there's a new
Sure.
drama right now.
What about
Yes.
you, Priyanshu? Do you think any suspensions, any yellow cards that have been carried forwarded, which you think that might affect the game?
not a suspension, but missing Manuel Neuer is a big miss because when Neuer is there between the sticks, we all feel secure. With Ulreich, I don't feel secure because against Real Madrid in the 2017-18 season in the semi-final, he made a mistake. We all remember Karim Benzema scored the goal. So with Neuer, we feel secure. So that will be a big miss, but I think for the group stages, it's okay. We need Neuer in the knockout stages mainly.
They have one injury, which is Rafael Guerrero. He's not playing. He's injured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rafael Guerrero. I was just going to actually get onto that, but
Guerrero,
I hope Harry Kane stays fit. I hope he stays injury free because he's going to be one of those pivotal players in that Bayern squad. He has a record of scoring against English clubs. He's played in the Premier League. He knows what it's like to go up against a team like
Yes.
Manchester United and scoring against them. I think it'll be like his dream start for Bayern in the Champions League.
He's always scored against
Um,
United when he was playing for Spurs. He's never missed
so
a
he's
game
never
of
missed,
scoring
right?
versus. Yeah,
Harry Kane, I feel he's a very underrated player. Like when we talk about top strikers,
mm.
Lewandowski, Benzema, they all, they all
Because he's
we
English.
count as, yeah. But Harry Kane with Tottenham, what he did, how many goals he scored with that squad, it is commendable. And I really feel sad that we couldn't
It's
go and get him because
yeah.
Benzema left, and
Mm.
our management is too blinded with Mbappe and getting him. So
I
we
don't know if you
let
read
go of.
today's news. So United actually spoke to Daniel Levy for
Hmm.
signing Harry Kane before Bayern Munich even came in. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah.
and Harry Kane said he's ready to wait for 12 months and then come to
Hmm.
United next year as a free agent. But the
Okay.
pressure from the Tottenham board and to Daniel Levy was that there is a stadium cost which is pending. They needed
Of
money
course,
ASAP.
they need to. They
Yeah,
need. Of course,
they
of
need
course.
to
Yeah.
balance the books, right? And United said, dude, we are not going to pay 100 million for this guy who's just got a year left in his contract. What we might
Hmm.
as well do is we'll offer him a loan deal where he can play on 1 year loan, and then we'll make an obligation to buy at 65, 70 million. Levy said no, and then Bayern Munich came in. He cashed Bayern Munich well because they said 55, 60, 65, 70, and eventually he said 100, take it or leave it. So it was just one of those stories with
See
United with Bayern.
the thing with
But we had the
Daniel
money.
Levy
We
is.
could have gotten him, but it was like, नहीं
You
यार
let
So I'll tell
एम्बापे
mediocre
you.
आएगा
results.
I'll tell
एम्बापे
you. I'll tell you
आएगा.
the. I'll tell you the two different stories. So I'll tell you. Of what I know, I think Real Madrid has been flirting around with Kylian Mbappe for way too long.
Mm.
Yeah.
Papa Perez really wants him, but then I think ego comes into the picture because Mbappe then raises the bar and raises a stake at PSG. He wants to be the one that's running the club and not playing for the club, not playing for the badge, right? So that's
Mm.
that's where that ego clash happens. They flirt
Also
with each
think
other, and
about it,
every
right? For
season
3 years, they've been wanting Mbappe. In the next 1, 2 years, if
constantly.
Mbappe doesn't come to Madrid, right, it's an
We are
embarrassment to Real
done.
Madrid.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's like
Right.
publicly
But
It's
I
saying
think
that
I
it's a
think
nahi
that will
big.
aunga.
go through. I think that will go through. It'll happen. It's
Mm.
it's. I think they're just waiting
Look,
out
it's
for
already
another year
reached
or
a stage
so.
of embarrassment for them, right? I mean,
It it
when the
it has. Last year
yeah,
only it did reach the stage because we were ready.
mm,
They spoke. Personal agreements were agreed upon. They just didn't sign
mm.
the papers. So
And they gave him a three
I
fifty
don't
million
know
dollar, 350 million pounds contract,
exactly.
in the end. So
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
it
money talks.
the Absolutely. And the thing with money, when money talks, see, Harry Kane, Daniel Levy is a very strong negotiator. He
Yep.
knows, the board also knows that we can't let him go for free. You have a player that scores 20 plus goals in a season. He's a guaranteed goal scorer. He's one of those prolific strikers in the Premier League that
Yep.
every team wants. Right. So now,
Yep.
if a Daniel Levy being a manager, I've seen him on that show also, where when they had Mourinho,
Mm.
coaching Tottenham.
Yep.
He was very clear, right? He was very clear with his instructions. It's either my way or the highway. I'm not going to talk to anyone. I'm the
Yep.
one that takes the call.
Mm.
So when he went for when he was very clear that Harry Kane is not going to any other English club, though there was a lot of
Mm.
interest from Manchester United, Chelsea, two other
City.
clubs also, that City, that all wanted him. But then he
Mm.
was clear that I'm not going to let Harry Kane play in the same league. Let's look at other options. There was options
Yep.
from Saudi. That's when Thomas Tuchel came into the picture and decided, okay, let's do one thing. We've lost out of Lewandowski. We really need to fill in that gap. We can't
Mm.
rely on Choupo-Moting because obviously he's not that caliber, right?
Yep.
They again back and forth. I think Daniel Levy realized 1 year on the contract, just fucking let him go. It's easier to sell him than have him to keep him at the club.
Yep.
He himself doesn't want to stay at a club where it's not winning any titles. He's been in Tottenham for so many years. He's come
Yeah, he
very
has
close to winning
wasted,
the
I
title in
guess, so
2016.
many years. Yeah.
And Chelsea took it away from them at Stamford Bridge with Leicester winning that league that time. So they came really
Yeah,
close,
you
and
were
then I think
building
that
up to that, no?
frustration, exactly, that
Pranav, you
frustration
were
grew.
building up to that,
So
right?
Tottenham are the only team
Pretty
who
much.
came. Yeah, Tottenham are the only team who came third in a two-horse race,
Yeah,
and
exactly. And
Yeah, yeah.
they fumbled
yeah,
very hard,
and it
and
was
we
bad game
made sure.
actually. Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
bad game because if you, I don't know if how many of you watched the game because Spurs were never in it, and it was Chelsea who ran the show, and eventually Spurs were so frustrated that they started picking up fights in the game,
They
and
just
they
went
lost their
at it, and
focus. Yeah,
absolutely.
they lost the focus. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's Harry Kane. But
But
come
it's
tomorrow, right? Harry Kane will smell this United defense well. He will measure it and he will score. It's evident. Harry Kane will get a goal. It only depends on whether United can make a comeback after that or not. That's the big question which
Yes.
everyone will have.
right. But Priyanshu, I
Chalo,
wanted to
so
ask you. I genuinely
yeah,
wanted to ask you, Priyanshu. Sorry, Simran. Priyanshu, do you
yeah, yeah.
really think Harry Kane is one signing that you've always wanted as a Bayern fan, or do you think there are other strikers that should have come in the place of Lewandowski?
No, after Lewandowski, the only one I wanted was Kane. The other options were Osimhen, who is way too much costly, and the other options were Vlahovic and another one I'm forgetting. Oh, Kolomuan. Okay, these
Okay,
four names were linked. Names were linked, and out of all these four, Kane is the best, and he has the experience. He has the stats behind him. He has everything. So I think I am very happy with him.
Okay.
okay.
So Priyanshu, what are your expectations from Tuchel? And do you think how different he is from Eric Ten Hag? Does he have the capability to, outsmart Ten Hag and win it for you guys?
See, to be honest, as of now, I am really not that happy with Tuchel ball because it's a bit boring. It's a bit boring than Nagelsmann ball and the flick ball.
Yeah, true,
But
true. Nagels.
but if we have to win against United, then we can't play a high line like Flick used to play and Nagelsmann used to play. So in that case, I think Tuchel will be is the good coach, and I think what to say.
Yeah, yeah, we can hear you. Hello, Priyanshu?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, are you
What do you
confident?
expect?
Are you do? Yeah, do you have confidence in Tuchel? Like, he will be able to win it for you guys because your league hasn't been up. You didn't start the league as you guys wished for, so that is why. It's about
Yeah,
Tuchel
I think
versus Eric Ten Hag for this question.
Tuchel can outsmart Tenak, and especially with the injuries United have, I think we should win the game.
Okay. What about you, Prashant? Who do you put, above? Ten Hag or Tuchel? Who is the better manager for you?
Thomas Tuchel, hands down. There is no two ways about it. If you think from a very objective perspective, right? I mean, Thomas Tuchel has won in Germany, won a Champions League with Chelsea, competed
True.
for leagues versus City and Liverpool, right? I mean, it's not easy to compete leagues with City and Liverpool when they were running at full show. And Thomas Tuchel
Yes.
made Chelsea competitive. You remember he reached the
Yeah.
Carabao Cup final and eventually they lost, which I think Chelsea should have won. A kick at Lukaku's balls was not given as a penalty, which was plain stupid refereeing. All that sort of nonsense. I think one Chelsea player got his leg injured, thighs injured, and the referee said play on. Okay, which was a pure crap game. It was Trevor Chalobah, I think. He was kicked
Travel
on his
चालू है
thighs.
yeah.
Yeah, he was kicked on his thighs, and the referee said play on. So, if you think about it, Thomas Tuchel has achieved much more than Eric Ten Hag. Now, of course, they're at two different stages of their career. Thomas Tuchel has got what 10, 12 years of managing experience right now. Eric Ten Hag is just climbing his way towards managerial ladder. But in terms of ideology of football, I would always choose Eric Ten Hag over Thomas Tuchel for multiple reasons. One, because Eric Ten Hag comes with a school of managerial thought where he thinks manager is the alpha guy in the team. When you
Hmm.
manage a big club, you need to be the alpha. If you look at most successful managers in world football, right, they are of nature where they think they are alpha. For example, Jose Mourinho, Pep Guardiola. No one at the club is bigger than them. It is not possible. While Thomas Tuchel is a guy who involves everyone in the club and creates a very happy atmosphere, all that sort of it all works for clubs which is of a medium scale to a certain extent or who aspire to be big. But when you're a big club manager, you need to have the authoritative nature which you are as a person. You look at Jurgen Klopp, right? I mean, Jurgen Klopp is a great friend to have, but will I want Jurgen Klopp to manage Manchester United? I'm not sure because I want a manager who's authoritative. Jurgen Klopp doesn't scream authority. Jurgen Klopp screams team bonding, great man management, good thinking in terms of football. With Eric Ten Hag, I know one thing is very simple that no matter what United's start of the season is, if there is one man who can change this around, it's Eric Ten Hag. A lot of people forget it. United had two bad losses at the start of the season last year: Brentford and Brighton and Brentford. 4-0 at home to Brighton and 4-0 away to Brentford. Everyone wrote him off. They said he's a big man with a big suit over his size. He's not going to turn it around. Come to Old Trafford. When Liverpool comes in full form, Eric Ten Hag changed it. People forget that this is the same guy who likes to start challenging teams when his back is against the wall. Okay.
Yeah.
But sadly for him, right, he's under massive pressure. His pressure is
Hmm.
insane. I was talking to a friend of mine today at work and I told him the same thing. No one is talking about Pochettino and his pressure, while when you look at the points table, it is the same. They've spent $1.5 billion almost, but no one is talking about sacking Pochettino, but everyone is talking about sacking Eric Ten Hag. That's what happens when you deliver for one season, okay, and then
Yeah.
everyone's eyes is looking at you. I was telling to another Chelsea fan as well today that Julian Nagelsmann is poor man's Pochettino. He hasn't won dog shit in his all his life.
Yeah.
Okay, he
True.
comes with his Geegen pressing ideology of football, which even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer beat him finally at Leipzig. We ran
Yeah.
through Leipzig and eventually we lost it because we had multiple injuries and all that sort of nature, right? So I will never rate Julian Nagelsmann as a great manager who can manage a Bayern Munich squad. He's good at a Leipzig level now. All the best to him for German national team job. But to manage a club like Bayern, Thomas Tuchel is a great guy because right now what Bayern need uh, is not a Rudy Holler kind of a guy who will just abuse you. You need a guy who will come together, get the squad love each other as their company, and then start firing. They need a little bit of
Yeah.
love. They don't need tactics to win a Champions League right now. They've got enough individual players to do it, but they just need slight amount of patience. Give him time. All that sort of nature. While at United, Eric Ten Hag needs a result. Needs a positive result when I say because United play Bayern, then they go to Burnley away. A Turf Moor is one place United haven't won in a
Have
lot of
not done
time.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, back then it was Sean
Absolutely.
Dyche as a manager. Very few teams have won at Burnley away. It's one of the most notorious
Hmm.
grounds in English Premier League. So the pressure is on Eric Ten Hag. It depends whether what United turns up tomorrow.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. I think the expectations are built over time. I
Yeah,
think with Eric Ten Hag, because he became successful with United, there's everyone had built that expectation of him to deliver, and once performances dipped, I think that's when fingers get pointed at, questions start getting asked,
Yeah, people don't
what's
talk
going
about
on.
this. If you think about it, as a manager, he has to deal with more off-field issues than on-field issues. There's Sancho issue, there is
Absolutely.
Anthony issue, there is Mason Greenwood issue, there is Harry Maguire's captaincy issue.
There
Harry
was
Maguire,
Cristiano Ronaldo issue.
Cristiano
Ronaldo
Ronaldo was
issue.
never an issue. Ronaldo was never an issue. There was only one winner there. It was very clear
True.
from day
Yeah,
one. There is only one winner. All these, so
yeah, he
Jadon
made
Sancho
that
issue
clear
is
as
something
well.
which he can't control, right?
Yeah.
Anthony issue is something which is out of his control.
Out of his
Cristiano
control.
issue,
Yeah.
yeah, a Cristiano issue was his control. He said, "Dude, you are not playing the way I want my team to play. You either learn to play how I want you to play, or else the door is open." Now, for a lot of Cristiano Ronaldo fans, he would have thought that world's biggest club will come and buy him, but no one wanted him. That's a harsh reality of it. No one wanted to bid for
No,
him. What
we
happened?
didn't think that, but okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a fact. I mean, a lot of Ronaldo fans say Eric Ten Hag disrespected the legend of the game. हाँ मतलब ठीक है, legend सब ठीक है, but
He
फिलहाल
did.
manager के
He
plan में
did,
नहीं है
but
तो क्या
okay,
करेगा?
fine. It's fine. It's
I
fine.
mean, we spoke about this in the previous podcast also. When it comes to Jadon Sancho and Ronaldo, Ronaldo is a bigger name in the world of football. Everyone knows him, everyone respects him, and everyone
Mm.
respects him for what he's achieved, right?
Yeah,
And that, of course, if you go up against a manager that, of course, has the same mentality of my way or the highway, then obviously that clash is
I
going to
always say
happen.
There
this
will
to
be
people.
clashes.
There was a gentleman who won a Champions League when he was 19. Was probably one of the best keepers to play in world football. All he did was badmouth Jose Mourinho once. Never played for Madrid
Just
again.
once, yeah, and absolutely,
And Saint
absolutely.
Care,
Yeah.
who's revered
He
all around the
he
world.
was our legend and he had to go away. He did his press conference on his own that he is
Yeah,
leaving Madrid. He was in
yeah,
tears. We were in tears. We
yeah,
couldn't understand what the hell happened. We were angry at Mourinho, but then
yeah,
we figured it out that yeah, Mourinho was right. He did leak, stuff to his,
yeah.
reporter girlfriend and things were not right and yeah, it
Saint Iker suddenly became non-existent in Real Madrid. It was just like, dude, I just don't care. Like, you are not doing the way how I want my team to play, so you can just go screw yourself. It was as simple as that. And the same thing happened with Ronaldo and Eric Ten Hag.
no,
There's
no.
only one winner there.
Absolutely.
Oh,
But
But
I
thanks to Iker
shifting to
Casillas, someone else got a career. The second choice keeper, what was his name? Diego Martinez. No, uh,
Lopez.
Lopez. He got a career at Madrid. He was never good enough to play for Madrid, but he got a career out of nowhere.
He did. He did. He actually he stood up to the occasion. I feel at that point he was like, okay, I
Yeah,
think he's competed hard enough for that number one spot, and now he's got the opportunity. I think he relished it. Right. But Priyanshu, I
we
wanted to ask
Madrid
you. I
fans
mean,
still, yeah, ask, yeah.
sorry, I wanted to ask you. I mean, given the home advantage, do you think coming to Alliance Arena, Bayern hold like it's the holy ground for Bayern Munich, going any team going and playing at the Alliance Arena at the Champions League also. It's a tough ground to play. Do you think being at home is going to be an advantage for you guys?
Yeah, home advantage will of course be there, and in the group stage also we have a good record in the last few seasons. We are actually unbeaten in the last 31 group stage games. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's a Champions League record as of now. And of course, home atmosphere will be very helpful for us, and the players will be motivated. And if Bayern can start the game well, the home fans will cheer even more, and that will create pressure
yeah.
on United players as well.
Yeah, I'm just, sad that Barcelona went in the same group as Bayern this year because I was hoping for a,
I am more sad that Arsenal isn't in the same group.
we all want our rival clubs to be with Bayern so that,
No, it's
they
not
can
that. I mean,
push
think
them
about it,
off to
right?
Europa.
I mean, I was talking to some Arsenal fans. They said we are in Champions League. We finished second. I was like, dude, you're still Bayern's bitch. Let's put it that way. It's not even that they are your rivals. I mean, when you play Bayern Munich, they just spank you for 6, 7 goals. It's not like 1, 2 goals. At least I know at
Yeah.
United we can be
Hard one.
semi-selfish because we play them at finals and they win it. Eventually they win the tournament, so we are okay with it. Bayern don't even
Hmm.
win, but they play against Arsenal and they just go to the next stage. So for Bayern, it's like a free pass. कुछ नहीं हो तो चलो आर्सेनल के
Eh,
साथ खेलो यार.
It's like Chelsea going at Tottenham, winning, or calling Tottenham what the 3 point
3 point
lane.
line.
So
Yeah.
it's one and the same thing.
Yeah.
But the luckiest
So
club is Arsenal.
coming,
They've got a Conference League level group.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. It's a walk
they are
away
No.
for
back
them.
after
I think
so,
they'll.
yeah, yeah.
They're back after a decade.
Yeah, too long. So that's why, God is bestowing their blessings. Like, go ahead, beta. Do
ठीक है ना,
well.
यहाँ पे ग्रुप टॉप करेंगे, नॉकआउट में बायर्न खेलेगा.
See,
एक ही बात हो गया. Then they'll drop
Okay,
to
As a
okay.
Chelsea
Europa.
fan, I'll tell you something. As a Chelsea fan today, when I just got done with football, I got mocked very hard, saying, Acha, Chelsea's in Champions League, no? Oh wait, they're in the Europa League. Oh wait, they're not even there. Conference League में तो होंगे. So I'm gonna let that slip today as a Chelsea fan. I know we're a bigger club than Arsenal and Tottenham. We've won the Champions League twice, guys. Come on, so
You won
show
the
some
league most
respect.
recently than City and Liverpool. So yeah, fair enough.
So exactly. So guys, chill out. But yeah, it's gonna take us a while for us to come back in the Champions League. But I'm really rooting for Manchester United. I really want them to do well.
Even
Bayern
United
Munich are
fans
going to
aren't
be
rooting, but ठीक है,
exceptional.
fair enough.
I mean, it's always the underdogs. You can never tell, right? You can
Yeah,
always
yeah.
look at a squad. Champions League में teams really turn
Hmm.
up. They really
Yeah.
step up to the occasion. You
Like I
have
always tell this
Real
to people,
Madrid.
Champions League is lottery. You can be the shittiest team in league and win the Champions League. It happens, and you don't need to
प्लीज
be
ये क्या
consistent.
इंसल्ट कर रहे हो क्या मेरे
I mean,
फेस पे आके कि
no.
Chelsea
Before
won it
no. Think
twice,
about
and
it.
they
Think
were
about
one
it.
of the worst teams in league.
Absolutely, we didn't play
Yeah.
well at
Can you
all.
imagine Chelsea beating Real Madrid at
true,
knockout
true.
stage? Mason Mount suddenly turning up for fun, and the same Mason
But
Mount was missing in
we
league.
true, but we weren't also that good that season. Like it wasn't meant to be.
But तुम
Okay,
लोग
so
टॉप टू
moving
में थे ना.
forward.
टॉप टू में थे ये लोग.
But we
सेवेंथ
are
या
in La
एट्थ पे थे.
Liga. Like we are in La Liga. We play bad. We are still in the top three.
Thank you for actually saying that your
Yeah,
league is
it's a
not that competitive.
two. I mean, La Liga is
See,
a
let's
three-legged
let's be
horse.
honest here.
Or Hakon.
Let's be honest here. If even if we have a bad season, we know we are gonna play the Champions League, so we don't have
Of
that
course.
pressure. उस
Yeah,
तरह
of
से.
course. हाँ.
So like, I'm not making fun or anything, but like any memorable moment in the previous clashes between the two clubs. Priyanshu,
Y-
Bayern versus United.
And
Any memorable moment that you want to recall before the game tomorrow?
for me, the Robin goal against Manchester United in the 2010 quarter final. I mean, that
Oh,
was
Rafael
a
red
that
card.
brilliant volley.
That
Brilliant, brilliant.
oh,
Yeah,
Bayern,
Rafael red card.
Bayern was
can't forget.
actually, yeah, Bayern was actually losing the tie, but that goal made it 4-4 and Bayern won the tie in away goal
Aggregate.
rule.
Hmm.
So that was a brilliant. And I think Prashanth Bhaiya will definitely say 1999.
No, I'll not say 1999, but I really like the 2-1 game which Bayern won at Old Trafford. Of course, you
Yeah.
won it because Rafael got a red card for no real reason. We all know what happened in that game. Arjen Robben did what he did all his life, which is use his left foot for once and then scored a beautiful goal, 2-1. Of course, my favorite memory will always be 99, but apart from that, United drew at Allianz Arena 1-1. Patrice Evra scored a worldie. Very few people remember that.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
scored a right. He was playing
2014, 2014 first leg,
correct.
quarter final.
2014, 2014 first leg. Yeah, second leg actually. You won at Old Trafford, and it was second leg. We went to
Yeah,
Munich.
yeah, second leg, third leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So
second.
it was a very emotional game because it was during the month of February where the Munich disaster had happened. So previous day, all the players had
Oh,
gone to the graves of those players where they were buried in Munich, right? And a lot of them were emotional. United were anyways losing the tie because Bayern had won 3-0 at 2-1 at Old Trafford. Mario Mandzukic had scored that
No,
yeah.
first
yeah,
leg was 1-1.
1-1. Sorry,
Oli
1-1.
scored at the last minute.
Correct.
Oli scored at the last
Olic.
minute. In
Correct.
the second leg, Bayern won 3-1.
Yeah, and then we scored. There's one goal which Patrice Evra scored. It was outside the box, top corner. Manuel
Yeah.
Neuer was just standing.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
just went top corner. So a very memorable fixture for United because it happened during the Munich disaster. But apart from that,
Yeah.
of course, United played Bayern Munich in Champions League final at Camp Nou. I mean, what a beautiful place to win a Champions League, right? One of the biggest stadiums in world football. The tickets were already sold out. A lot of United fans left after 87, 88 minutes because they were just heartbroken. That no English team had ever won the treble and all that sort of things. But then eventually United turned up and Beckham's cross, and Ole Gunnar
Oh,
Solskjaer won it.
that goal, yes.
Yeah, one of the most iconic goals in Champions League football, right? So,
Yes, yes. If we get to remember, then we will, remember
mm,
that moment. That was
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
And
So yeah,
Chelsea winning at Allianz Arena. Sorry, I just had to slip that in.
yeah. Drogba's penalty, no?
Yeah,
Drogba's
I wouldn't
header,
be.
Sorry, header.
True, true,
that
true.
header.
Like I wouldn't start speaking because I'll have a long list of memorable moments in the Champions League. So let's move
Yeah.
Like
forward, Pranav.
Lewandowski
Okay,
scoring
let's
four
not
versus
boast.
Madrid.
Let's not boast, guys.
But that time he was in Dortmund though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when he was in Dortmund.
Yeah, he was in Dortmund. His only
So
European away
guys,
hat trick, no?
true. So guys, I
Yeah, but
just
now he's
quick.
in Barcelona, so I guess it was always meant to be like that.
But if you think
Lewandowski as
about
our
it, he's
rival.
actually replaced Suarez, no? Suarez also never had any away goals in Champions League for Barcelona for ages. He scored in Camp Nou, so he's eventually replaced him.
I want, no matter what, like I love Lewandowski. I have loved him since his Bayern days. The Dortmund also he was too good, and when he went to Barcelona, I was heartbroken. I was really sad. But now that he's in Barcelona, the automatic rivalry comes. The automatic. I want him not to do well. I want him not to score goals. I want him to fail at every step of the way. So there's that. So
But he'll
I'd be
score
more than
goals.
happy if
He's
eh,
like he's older
he is
version of Harry Kane.
Lewandowski. Yeah,
Yeah.
he is Lewandowski, and he will get his goal. So,
But I'm more
and
surprised that Joao Felix is scoring, so which is nice to see. Chelsea fans are not used to
J-
seeing that. No.
that's true. And Joao Felix scoring and kissing the badge, dude. I was
Yeah,
surprised.
it's
I'm like,
sad.
you have
That's
moved
actually very
from
sad to
Atletico
see.
Madrid.
Yeah,
You Atletico Madrid fucking bought you at a price, and
120 million.
they exactly they spent so much money on him, and then Upar say
Joao Felix, I feel is
he
like
didn't even
kind
live
of
up to the
Morata
But
only.
expectation.
He will be like Morata, jumping from this club to that club to this
He's
club to that club.
so that was the actual comparison I had. Julian Nagelsmann is Morata of managers.
Yeah.
Potential. Nothing delivered.
True.
So guys, what do you think?
So yeah,
I mean, what do you think? Predictions. Let's go with Priyanshu. What do you think? What is going to be the scoreline?
I am really confident, but I will say 3-1. 3-1 win for Bayern.
Wow, very confident
It
answer.
could be,
Prashant, what do you
it
think?
could be,
I think it'll be a if United score first, it'll be a draw 1-1. Uh, if Bayern score first, it'll be 2-0 victory for Bayern. If United score first goal, right, then there is a
hmm.
game on there because there are very few teams in world football who will match United pace to pace. I was telling Priyanshu before the podcast started, I was like, if Thomas Tuchel plays high line tomorrow, he will get murdered. Rashford will kill him for fun. Uh, and I've been saying this to a lot of people, even when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager. The only manager who did not learn from his mistake is Pep Guardiola. There is a reason why we kept beating Man City again and again and again because he kept playing high line. Uh, Arteta was the first guy who figured this out. He never played high line against Man United. He started giving United the ball and said, "तुम खेलो अपने आप देखते हैं तुम लोग क्या करते हो." If you give United the ball, United will have no idea what to do with it. But if you engage United in a counter-attacking game, right, United will love it. And
Yeah,
Bayern has got no player apart from Alfonso Davis who will match Marcus Rashford for pace to pace. There is no one there. Kim
exactly.
Min Jae
True.
is
There's no one
quick.
there.
True.
There's no
True.
one
Yeah,
there.
Kim Min Jae is quick, but Marcus Rashford is elite when it comes to quickness. I mean, you think about it, right? When Marcus Rashford runs, he's not only taking the midfielder, he's actually running past the fullback and then cutting in and then crossing the ball or passing it. It's too quick an action to just evade. So if you think from
Right.
that perspective, Bayern don't have anyone to match that pace. But having said all of it, if Thomas Tuchel has learned his football so much, right, he will not give United any space. If they give Highline and United space, I'm telling you right now, United will walk over Bayern, which is not going to happen that quickly.
Yeah,
Yes.
even I think Pep Guardiola himself also said that Man United are the only team that play out from the back, and that transitional play, even in counter
Yeah.
attacks, is the quickest.
If you really want to see
And
transitional play, right, watch Ajax versus Real Madrid under Eric Ten Hag. You just see what
oh,
Ajax did.
that
Yeah.
exactly.
All
Ajax
Ajax
also
did
same
was
same.
all Ajax did was get the ball, pass it to the winger, get the ball, pass it to the winger. And Dusan Tadic had one of the games of the season, right? I mean, if you think about it, all he did was get the ball, go inside the box, get the ball, go inside the box. So, and Bayern tomorrow will also face a difficult test in Rasmus Højlund. It's a very I wouldn't use the word naive, but it's a very bold thing for me to say that Rasmus Højlund will cause a lot of problems to centre back sooner or later. Not tomorrow, but in future, right? Rasmus Højlund will cause a lot of problems. I hate strikers like Darwin Nunez, Karim Benzema, who don't have great pace, but they run between two defenders, and both the defenders look at each other and like, "Tu mark karega ki main mark karu," and then eventually both of them don't mark. So Rasmus Højlund is that. He'll ask questions of Upamecano and uh, Kim Min Jae. His if I was Thomas Tuchel, right, I would play Delict if he was fit, and I'll tell him your only job is to not let Rasmus Højlund run. तू बॉल को भी हाथ
Hmm.
मत लगा चलेगा इट्स ओके आई विल वेस्ट अ डिफेंडर
Man marker
हाँ
ले. Hmm.
more than man mark na just push him keep pushing him don't let him come inside the box see
Irritated,
he's
get into his head basically.
exactly
Yeah.
he's young he's 6 feet 2 he's quick Rasmus Højlund is quick he uses both feet predominantly left foot he uses both feet just irritate him just annoy him eventually right it'll get to his head he's young na matlab last year we saw Darwin Nunes all
Yeah.
the everyone did
True.
was get into his head
Just get into his head and then yeah,
because
he
everyone knew you can't mark him
fumbled.
because once he gets on form right he'll just murder you so
Exactly
just
what he did
irritate
with
him
Newcastle. Same.
yeah
If
they didn't
Newcastle
irritate
had
him they thought
irritated him, yeah, yeah.
they didn't irritate him. They just kept pushing him outside, outside. Suddenly, he just scored a goal. And Rasmus Højlund is that kind of a striker. Not this year. I think in 1.5, 2 years, right? World football will see a very different striker in Rasmus Højlund because you don't see these kind of strikers in modern day. Right now, you see strikers like Randall Colomoni or Mbappe who can play across front three. They can play anywhere in front
Right.
three.
Anywhere, anywhere,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
Yeah,
just play him for 2 3 seasons there, and then give him to us, because
yeah,
we
we'll be
will be
more than
missing
happy.
Karim Benzema.
More than
And
happy.
then
Pay
if he comes
120
in,
million, 140
because
million.
I genuinely feel that we cannot replace Karim Benzema as a
Yeah,
striker, because those kind of strikers, they are like, they
yeah.
don't come that often, and
Even
so we'll
Brighton's
be
game,
very
if you
happy.
observe, no, he scored a goal which was obviously outside. The ball had passed when Rashford crossed. None of the defenders even saw how he ran because he was walking with
Yes.
Joel Veltman, was just walking, 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 and suddenly he got in, scored, tap in, and walked off. Of course, it was outside and right decision made by VAR for a change, uh, and everyone just looked at that moment. So I was at the game and I just looked at the moment and I was like, where did he move from? I mean, obviously I was sitting at the
Yeah.
Stretford and so I couldn't see very clearly, and I just looked at him and I
Hmm.
was like, ये कहाँ से गया? मतलब अभी तो यही था वेल्टमैन के साथ खड़ा था ये गया कहाँ से ये and then when I got back home, I
Hmm.
saw the
Okay.
highlight and stuff, and I was like, he just walked, and no one
Yeah.
could see that run. So these are the kind of strikers, right? Of course, not now, but in some years' time, they will develop. So the tomorrow is a good
Yeah.
test for him. Allianz Arena fans will be at his back.
Yeah.
They will just abuse the shit out of United players tomorrow. Allianz Arena is anyways notorious for making life difficult for away fans, right? So uh, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be if you're a neutral, it's a fun game to watch. But if you're a United fan, we all are hoping for one magic moment in the game.
Right.
Okay.
And
Yes.
By the
coming
way,
off. Sorry. Go on,
Yeah.
by the
Priyanshu.
way, who will start at the right wing for United?
Bruno will play right wing.
Okay.
Magnifico, Portugal Magnifico.
मैं तो बोल रहा
So
हूँ उसको
coming to
जगह दे
that,
दो तुम.
मेरे को genuinely guys तुम लोग से जानना था. Coming to that, I think
Hmm,
Simran also wanted to know, like,
hmm.
do you as a Man United fan don't have faith in Onana? I mean, you yourself
Yeah,
said
we
2-0.
just talked
He
about
said,
that before the podcast,
I
before the
have a
podcast
lot of
started.
faith in Onana. Honestly, I have a lot of faith in Onana, but the kind of errors what he's making, right? It's hard to justify him as well after a point of time. I am always going to be a big fan of David De Gea, but I deep down I knew it was time for him to go. It was evident he had to go
Hmm.
after those high prolific errors in FA Cup final and all. I knew he will go. Of course, the manner in which he left is not something which any United fan or manager is proud of. Andre Onana comes with a big price tag and also big performance. I think Onana will thrive in Manchester United. He will be absolutely colossal. There's this old saying between United fans: if you want to be a goalkeeper at Man United, right, your ball should be made of steel and iron, because there is criticism here. You're not going to escape criticism here. So when you think about that, right, Onana hasn't adjusted to life well. Okay, he's not used to this quick pace of Premier League. See, Premier League is quick. It's not like a Bundesliga or a La Liga where there are breaks in between games, where there is passage of play, there is a build-up development which is going on. In Premier League, in seconds, the attacks change. You saw Brighton, right? They made 27 passes, but every pass was just a movement. In La Liga, in Bundesliga, there is a build-up. The player is looking, watching
Yes.
what's happening. It's a lot in the head. In Premier League, it's all physicality. Onana hasn't adjusted to it at all. He has missed some absolute balls which could have saved, which could have been easily saved by me. Yeah,
Sitters.
like even
Yeah.
I could have saved not knowing anything about goalkeeping. में सिर्फ हाथ ही तो डालना था, उसने हाथ तक नहीं डाला.
Mm.
मतलब उसका reflex ही slow था. And
Yes.
problem is, um, there's this beautiful thing about Manchester United. David Beckham was forgotten a lot quickly because Cristiano Ronaldo came in. Everyone
True.
forgot
Yeah.
David Beckham very quickly. But obviously, other
True.
side of the wing, uh, Andre Onana is facing an uphill battle with United fans with David De Gea. Look, every
Mm.
United fan, right, deep down knew that David De Gea will go. Deep down, everyone knew he will go. The staunchest of staunch
At some
supporters
point,
felt
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but right now he's facing a competition with the memory of David De Gea, right? Because
Yes.
David De Gea could save the bloody Titanic. We've seen that. He saved it and anyone who's seen United versus Madrid at Bernabeu, right? United had no business coming off with a 1-1 draw. No chance. We should have been married 6-1 in that away game. But David De
Right.
Gea made 12 saves, the second highest in a Champions League game. There's this
Mm.
Absolutely.
beautiful save which he did of Fabio Coentrao, left-footed, was on target. It was, you can't save that shot. It was
Yeah.
his fingertip which kept the ball outside,
Kept the ball out. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
Juan Mata's free kick, right? That save changed
Against
his career.
exactly.
The fingers,
Correct.
two
Correct. I was
fingers.
just
So
gonna say
David Dyer
just
did that.
fingers and he put it off.
Yeah. So Onana is facing that battle right now. It's all in his head. It's not his skill. It
Mm.
depends whether he's
If he'll be able to,
mentally able to
yeah,
survive this or not.
get
Look,
over that pressure. Yeah.
I think he'll be able to survive. Honestly, I think he'll be able to survive because um, I shouldn't say this out
Yeah,
loud,
with
but
that baby calm down thing, no?
no, because he's a black man playing in Italy. You can't get worse than that. You'll just get
You
racially
can't.
abused
It can't.
every
Yes.
day.
Yes.
It can't
Absolutely.
get
Yeah.
worse
Yeah.
than you as an individual, what it can go through to you, right? He faced
True.
Italy's
Yes.
racism with a smile on his face and won the nominated for the Ballon d'Or as one of the best keepers, right? That
True.
speaks about mental toughness of a man.
True.
This is a
True. True.
blip. And so for me, someone who's staying abroad, right, I know how people of color get abused, and I see it every day. It's a very
Yeah. Yeah.
common thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You need to be made of buffalo skin to understand that this will not affect me. I will just go and do my job. He knows what it
True.
is to play for the club. He knows he's too good to not play for a big club. Okay, so I
True.
have full faith in Onana. He will pick it up. The question is, will it be too late for United when he picks it up? That's the question. That only Onana
Mm.
can answer. He might pick it up in the fag end of the season, but तब तक तो United 6th 7th आ जाएगा तो मतलब नहीं है ना. So
Mm.
we were doing this podcast and I was telling people three players whose forms are dependent on United season this season is Andre Onana, Lisandro Martinez, and Casemiro. All three of them have shat bricks this
True.
season. ये
True.
तीनों
True.
मतलब they have just not turned up. If these three turn up tomorrow, right? तुम बायर्न खिलाओ या रियल मैड्रिड खिलाओ वो प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट these three need to turn up. And साथ में
Right.
कौन turn up होएगा we don't know.
Casemiro
So
will turn up. It's a Champions League match.
Hmm,
बाकी का पता नहीं.
hmm.
but coming to know, coming with that, I wanted to ask. So, are you gonna, we going to do a combined 11? Do you want Onana on goal or Priyanshu? Do you think your keeper deserves that position?
Their keeper doesn't deserve it. They themselves are not
Who is
confident with
right?
that keeper.
Who is right?
हाँ,
No, Onana is definitely better than Willian.
Yeah. Okay. So, what formation are we guys going with?
4-3-3.
4-3-3.
Four,
Combined, we are
Yeah.
doing a
So,
combined 11. Best 11 from both the sides, okay?
Hmm,
So
hmm.
you guys, can give us, that who deserves to be in that position from both the teams.
we have Onana in goal.
Hmm.
Okay, so who do you
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
is
And give
going to
us the center
be
back pair.
centre back pair?
I
The
think
back.
Martinez and Upamecano.
Upamecano. No, no.
Yeah.
Kane should start, I guess.
अबे 4 ही गेम खेला है वो, तू 4 गेम में उसको इतना ऊपर कैसे डाल सकता है? खेलने तो दे जरा,
Kane,
let
Kane,
him get used to it.
Kane was Serie A's best defender last season, so I think he deserves.
वो तू वो
That's
तू
all.
प्रणव को बोल, so was Koulibaly, then we all saw what happened to him.
Let's not go there, guys. Don't try to pull in a Chelsea fan here,
No, I
please.
think between Upamecano and Kim Min-jae, right? I really like Upamecano as a defender because uh, Kim Min-jae Kim Min-jae is slightly superior in air when he wins the
He's
headers and all.
technically sound. He's a
Yeah,
technically
he's very
sound defender.
technically sound, right? I like my center backs to be both aggressive and someone who can actually push
Strong, dude.
defenders. Yeah.
King black
Martinez
dudes can push.
yeah, Martinez 5.5 foot का है, but ask any ask Harry Kane when
He
United won
he
against
he's
Spurs, he bullied him. Harry Kane got
scary.
bullied by
He's
Martinez, which
scary.
is scary, right? So I think Upamecano and Martinez is a good pair, is what I think.
Okay. Priyanshu, do you agree with that or you want someone else? He
I
doesn't want
will say
Upamecano, right?
Kim and I will say Kim and Martinez.
Sure,
Okay.
Kim and Martinez.
Let's
We'll
let's
settle
go
on that.
forward with the fullbacks. We can
Hmm.
decide that later.
यूनाइटेड के पास तो है ही नहीं
Right
फुल
back,
बैक.
left. Yeah, right back. कौन यूनाइटेड के पास है ही नहीं.
कहाँ है फुल बैक?
Choice in हाँ.
शॉ इज इंजर्ड ना, शॉ इज
Right,
इंजर्ड,
Shaw is
Malacia इज
gone.
Choice तो
इंजर्ड.
left back. Yeah.
हाँ,
Van Bissaka भी
right
नहीं.
back.
वैन बिसाका भी नहीं है, डियागो डालो है, उसके साथ तो मैं मतलब
डालो बाप रे.
Right
मैं
back
उससे अच्छा
तो
खेल लूंगा फुल बैक.
So Priyanshu, बायर्न से कौन आएगा right back? Because बायर्न में भी अभी
Mazarawi
right back का
and
लोचा चल रहा है ना?
हाँ हाँ लेकिन I will say Mazarawi and Davis full back.
आई एग्री.
Agreed?
Oh wow.
Okay, let's come to the midfield.
Casemiro
Casemiro.
over Casemiro over Groetzka. Groetzka can't even tie his bloody shoelace even when he's half fit.
Yeah, I
I will
agree.
agree to that. I will agree to that
Kimmich,
because as a German fan also, let's go
Like
with Casemiro. Like, let's not dive in.
half fit Casemiro has got intelligence of 1,000 elephants. He literally reads the game even better. Even today when he's not doing at his best, right? Way
Yeah,
better.
true. Okay,
Apart
center
from Casemiro, who
midfielders.
else?
Casemiro, Kimmich, and another one.
I think Bruno
Hmm,
Fernandes.
Only
I feel.
only
yeah,
Kimmich
Bruno.
from
Casemiro, yeah.
fair
Casemiro,
enough,
Yeah,
fair
Kimmich
enough.
and Bruno Fernandes, yes. Hands down.
Yeah,
4-3-3 mein it'll work
Okay,
very well. Because
true,
exactly. He
Casemiro can
true.
actually
fits
Yeah,
that
cover. Yeah,
position.
yeah, and
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
importantly, right? If you leave Bruno Fernandes alone, na, to khila de 11 defender, he'll still be able to find a space.
Yeah.
True.
So
Okay, let's go with the forwards. Wings में कौन जाएगा? Left wing.
Marcus Rashford.
Agree
yeah,
with that, Priyanshu? Right wing.
yeah, yeah. Sane, Sane.
I would have actually put Musiala as a number 10 if we were playing 4-2-3-1 kind of thing.
Yes.
I really think Jamal
4-2-3-1.
Musiala, yeah, Jamal
Yeah.
Musiala in wing is wasted. Jamal
Hmm.
Musiala in a number 10 position or a secondary
Number 10,
striker
right behind that
position.
second striker.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
secondary striker position is lethal. So that was what I was thinking. But ठीक है, since you've gone for 4-3-3, right wing
Hmm.
तो United के पास तो है ही नहीं. मोदी जी को
I
लेके
mean,
आना पड़ेगा अभी खिलाने.
and striker, of course, I guess you guys
So
will go
so
And,
we're
for
going.
Harry Kane.
Who are we going with the
and
left wing
Marcus
Rashford,
Rashford,
and right wing?
Leroy Sane.
Leroy
Leroy
Sané.
Sané. Oi.
Sane.
If
And
if it
And
was
Harry
Anthony,
Kane.
no, if it was Anthony, I would have chosen Anthony over Sané.
Actually, Sane is in pretty good form. He has scored 3 goals in the last 4 games and 2 goals in the international teams as
That's
well.
because
So he's
that's
in pretty
probably
good form.
because he's got enough support on his right back. No, he's
yeah,
got good support on his right
Probably.
back. Yeah,
yeah.
United,
Striker,
Anthony
I
does.
guess.
Yeah, there's only
Yeah,
one striker
striker
in the
may.
team.
Yeah. Striker, though, it's obviously Harry
I
Kane.
can't
Harry
even
So,
I can't even say Hoyland in terms of Harry Kane. Like it's way
yeah,
beyond.
of course. Yeah, of course. So the problem we faced in our centre back,
Hmm.
who do you think
Upamecano.
will come? Upamecano? Priyanshu, do you
I will
agree?
say I will say King, but ठीक है ऊपर मखाना भी चलेगा.
ठीक है, because दोनों ही तुम्हारे ही players है, किसी को रख लो.
Like
Win-win
if it
for
was
you
Rafael
guys.
Varane, no, if Rafael Varane was available, I would have
Yeah,
said
yeah, yeah,
Martinez.
yeah,
I would have said Martinez and Varane. Kim Min Jae is also not making the
true.
cut because their combination Varane and Martinez is like silk and steel. Very
True.
few
People
teams
don't
have broken.
appreciate Varane
Yeah.
enough, but like I had him like
I don't
even
appreciate enough.
my yeah,
Okay.
even people from my fan base were like, "ठीक है, Varane चला गया, not a big miss," but he stays silent. He doesn't say much, but he is a leader who looks after your
I'll be
back
very
four. And
honest. I'll be very candid here. So right now we have a combination of Sergio Ramos and Varane, in Martinez and Varane. Okay, the leader is
true,
Martinez. Varane is not the leader here.
yeah,
ठीक है.
true, but
Absolutely,
When
absolutely. Yeah.
because एक तो Martinez ना, he's coming from Argentina. He's got a huge cartel mentality that मैं पैर तोड़ूंगा या तो player जाएगा. That's a very cartel kind of a
It's either
mentality.
the
I
ball or
think
the player. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So when people actually put memes of Mohamed Salah turning Martinez around 7-0 ye wo na, I always say to people that a game like that will happen once in a lifetime, where the XG is less than the amount of goals scored. Every shot Liverpool
Mm.
scored was just a goal that day. It will never ever happen. Like it's never going to happen in
Again,
history of
again,
football.
it's not gonna happen again. Yeah.
Yeah, but
hmm,
the fact is, जिसको तुम वर्जिल वैन डाइक के साथ तुम बोलते हो ना, उसका पीक आते ही खत्म हो गया उसका. वैन डाइक का पीक
Okay.
चला
After
गया
that
अभी.
injury, it's dipped.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly right. One injury for center backs can actually screw your career. And when you
Ruin
look
it.
at Rafael Varane, हर हफ्ते injure होता है बेचारा. But every week when he turns up, right, I always say this to people: Rafael Varane will give me a 7 on 10 performance irrespective of the opponent. I am not bothered about it. 7 on 10 is what Varane guarantees me. I think
Consistency.
the only player I have seen getting troubled by Rafael Varane, like a player troubling Rafael Varane, is Francisco Trincao of Wolves last year. He was on loan, Barcelona
Yes,
se loan tha.
yes.
My goodness, he ran
Got into
Varane
his
for
head.
fun.
He got into his head. Yeah, he got
Yeah,
into his
yeah.
head, and
He just killed Rafael Varane. Like I was like, भाई तू
yeah.
पैर मत डाल penalty मत दे, कुछ भी कर penalty मत दे. But eventually, right after 20-25 minutes, Varane figured him out, and Varane was like, हाँ चल अभी dribble कर, चल देखता हूँ कितना dribble करता है. And the moment he came near the box, right, he kept his elbow out and started pushing him. And the ref also didn't say anything. Obviously, it's a game on fair play. So I'm yeah pretty happy with that.
Okay, so we got our combined 11.
Mm.
So that, finishes the agendas on the list. And Pranav, go ahead.
So, guys, thank you so much for being here with us. Priyanshu, it was a pleasure having you, Prashant, as well. Hope your teams step up to the occasion and deliver, the predictions that you guys have. I hope United go away with a 1-all draw, and for
I would give
United,
a
but
bloody arm for it, man. A draw. I just bloody give a fucking arm for it now.
and I hope Priyanshu being, I mean, if Thomas Tuchel, really goes through all the tactics that he, works with, I hope they come up with a win. And good luck to both the teams, guys. It was a pleasure having you with us on this podcast. The first time meeting you guys. We hopefully will like to see you guys back. And with that said, please, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It will really help us. Please like, drop in a comment, let us know what you think about the game. Let us know what you think will happen. It's a very big clash amongst the two, I would say, titans of the football world. With that said, this is your host Pranav and co-host Simran with Kickoff Conversations. Thank you so much. Take care.